Your highest evolution. What is your highest evolution? Well, today's experts are going to inspire and guide you on a rich personal growth journey to working through challenging emotions, discovering solutions, basically moving towards that highest potential in yourself. And this is especially important for leaders, practitioners, or healers. So if you're one of those, or you're just into personal growth, let's talk about this. But first, let's say hi to our experts today. Hi, Dr. Stephanie.
Hi, I'm Stéphanie Mitrano, and I'm from the Netherlands. And you can find me on icopilots.com. I'm a culture co-pilot.
Great. And hi, Dr. T.
Hello, Laura. I'm Dr. Teresa Barnes. I'm a psychotherapist, a consultant, owner of Restorative Place, and you can find me at restorativeplacepllc.com, and I am in Colorado and Illinois.
And hi, Ninotchka.
Hello, my name is Ninotchka Vicini. I'm a spiritual teacher and intuitive healer. You can find me at ninotchka.com, and I'm joining you from Boise, Idaho.
Well, great to have all of you here today because we have a beautifully rich topic, and I know you're all experts in this. So let's dive right into how to attain your highest evolution. What advice can you share with our viewers today to continue their personal growth journey for their highest evolution? Dr. Stephanie, let's go to you.
Yeah, I think what's important is to grow through your challenges, to not shy away from the discomfort, the pain that you might be feeling, to always turn inward so that you can really deep dive into your emotional life. And whatever you find in there as the introspection that you might do, the values that have been touched, what emerges that you learn about yourself, this is also very empowering because that's where you can find solutions. So don't shy away. If you feel angry, for example, try to understand if it is because there is something wrong with your organization, for example, or if there's an obstacle to your desires. And these two angers might look the same, but if you don't understand where they come from, you might not use the right strategy. So again, diving deep down allows this understanding that will give you the right strategy.
And what strategies might evolve?
The idea is that understanding your own patterns means that you can choose differently from your old programming. So you might have been angry in a certain way throughout childhood, teenage, young adult, and now you learn something about yourself, where it comes from, and you can choose differently. So it's a lot more empowering in your everyday life.
Yes, I think that is so important, so we can make the choice. When you have awareness, you have choice. When you have choice, you can change your life.
Exactly.
So and then you can reach your highest potential and your highest evolution. It's a great process for that. So thank you.
Thanks.
So Dr. T, share with us what you recommend for people continuing their personal growth journey for their highest evolution.
Thank you, Laura. First of all, I like to say, discovering that you're worth the work, because the work of evolution, especially in the context of trauma, is a hard one. So I always say, and I always, with my approach in my work, is also letting people know that you got to make space for the intolerable, and making space for the intolerable increases the capacity to hold it. Feeding the brain and the body so it can do the emotional work of trauma recovery. And the third thing is to find safe people, people that can step into your pain and hold it with you. Being around others that are holders of pain is probably one of the single most essential features of recovering and evolving into someone that can have the capacity to hold later.
Wow, most people don't even think about that. A lot of us are afraid to reveal that it's shameful. Any advice to get over that shame, to let somebody hold the pain?
That's a very, very good question. I think the shame is so much attached to the younger parts of ourselves. And pretty much, like Dr. Stephanie had talked about, it's being able to lean into that, right? Leaning into the pain. But so much about trauma and stress or anything that happens in our lives that can overwhelm us, it's relational. So much of how we recover and how we can overcome things like shame is what our relational and social environment, how that reflects that they're willing to be there for us. That's why finding safe people is so important, because they mirror tolerance for the intolerable. And by able to see them being able to tolerate what we feel is intolerable, allows us to be able to tolerate it without sounding too redundant. It's increasing our capacity for the intolerable.
Yeah. And that's so powerful, because when you can see somebody else accepting you, when you accept yourself, there's a huge healing that happens.
Yes.
This is so important. So rich. You ladies are so divinely inspired here. And speaking of divinely inspired, Ninotchka, let's have you weigh in on this topic of, what can people do to continue their personal growth journey for their highest evolution?
Well, I echo and support what Dr. Stephanie and what Dr. T said. This is right on par with what I do. Each person has been gifted at birth with a divine blueprint, and we spend our whole lives archiving or digging it up at like anthropologists of the soul. And what I guide my clients to do, and what I have done for my own self, is just bringing our awareness, number one, to our heart, but it's how are we influenced by the light? What are the natural organic qualities of light that can be used as a way to ignite our potential, purify from past traumas, create safe spaces, create sacred spaces with transpersonal relationships where we're able to gather and do the deep dive to attune to our light, which is always in us, and to be able to illuminate our possibilities.
What would be a first step somebody could do to bring awareness to their heart and that light?
Simply to go to the heart. And it's very, very simple. It's just the same as a plant will seek the light in a window. The organic being will always reach as a receiver of the light. And so there's very simple, practical things that one can do to open up and etherize the organic material within us with the qualities of light.
Is there one simple thing you can clue us into?
Yes, simply closing your eyes and bringing our awareness to just above the top of our heads. And often we will begin to feel just a little bit of tingling or activity at the top. And we can simply say, I am here. I am available. And this opens up the energetic channels, the divine channels, to just start bringing in the light that infuses and it illuminates, melts different areas of density within us.
Wow, I just got that, like I closed my eyes and I brought my attention to the top of my forehead and head and just got your energy. It really is quite powerful. And like you said, simple. So wow, when you do that, when you bring that awareness to light, you can step into that pain. You can, like Dr. T was saying, and hold it. You have more tolerance for it because you've given yourself some nurturing. And like Dr. Stephanie said, you can just experience it, be more in touch with what you're going through. And so that you can make a powerful choice. You can choose differently. You can see it in a whole new light. I don't know if you realize this, but this is like, so you're a power team, first of all. And second of all, the abundant evolution you can cause for yourself is in your hands, from what I hear from all three of you. It's in your hands, your heart, and your brain. When you use all those aspects of yourself, you can transform yourself. You can go to that highest evolution. So I want to learn more about each of you. Tell us, who do you work with and what do you do specifically, Dr. Stephanie?
I work in corporations, I work with leaders, I work with startups, I work with women. And basically what I do with them is I inspire, I encourage, and I equip them. It's important to give them tools so that they can deepen their self-awareness, as I mentioned earlier. And the idea is that this self-awareness is helping them walk a more meaningful way, whether as a leader, as an individual, but also as teams and as organizations. I'm also very passionate about bringing more feminine values in corporations, in corporate cultures, because it will help build more sustainable and human-friendly organizations.
Beautiful. So do you have a story about how you helped a client?
Well, one of my clients was a business owner, and the business was growing. And she said I was like a virus because I did bring some new framework for her to kind of envision herself, her business, and her team. And that really helped her see differently her role and her leadership style. And that completely changed how she could grow, because all of a sudden she could delegate, she could collaborate differently, and she could focus as a leader on where she had the most added value. And all of that creating also more autonomous teams and fulfilled teams. So it was done both in a masculine way towards performance, but also in a very feminine way in terms of working together.
Wow, way to marry those concepts and also to help her evolve, right? And reach her higher evolution, because she was stuck in a pattern and you had the tools to get her out of that. That's fabulous. Well, thank you for your great work. And I want to move to Dr. T and learn a little bit more about you. Who do you work with and what do you do?
I own my own practice, a restorative place. I'm now in 2 locations, and I manage doctoral and master level clinicians, which then helped me discover my love for mentoring, supervising, and coaching psychotherapists, helping them, being able to kind of hold them while they do the holding and kind of heal the healers. So I really do enjoy that work of pouring into new clinicians or clinicians who are changing fields and going into mental health. So yeah, I really enjoy work. And I should also say, I'm a holistic psychotherapist, that I am certified in integrated mental health. So I know the food that the brain needs to do the emotional work. 90% of our serotonin is in the gut. It's our emotional brain. So if we don't know how to feed the gut where it can thrive, that's sometimes half the battle. So I enjoy doing that type of integrated work. I do a lot of body-centered techniques on how to unlock trauma, what to do with the trauma when it's out of the body. And the third piece is the community. If there's no sense of community, if there's not a place where you can experience shared meaning, someone that can sit across from you and say, yeah, that was a horrible thing. Sometimes that's all we need, is to mirror our subjective experience of it. And so I help clients be able to identify these safe people in their life.
Wow. That's very holistic in many ways, from the physical to the emotional and the physical space around you, even the people in your life. Do you have a story about how you've coached and mentored somebody?
Yeah, I had a wonderful opportunity to supervise an intern over the summer, and she was struggling with work relationships, and she's studying to be a therapist. So we've been able to talk about what happens when she's in the room, when she feels that there's judgment from other people, mainly colleagues, and she realizes, and she came to the conclusion that when she's feeling judged, love leaves the room. And so we were able to identify this younger part, this child part, whenever she was in the room with anger and judgment, that she felt unsafe. And so by being able to acknowledge that with herself, it enlarged her capacity to see clients in a new way. So it informed her work. And it's all about using the trauma story, right? We use it as a lens to understand clients where they are, and as well as enlarge our capacity to hold it. So she's now able to see things differently through a different lens, using her own trauma story.
I love how you reframe it so that it becomes a tool for growth and evolution.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for the great work you're doing with your interns and people you're supervising and the healers. The healers need healing. So
Absolutely.
it's a beautiful thing. And let's go over to Ninotchka. Tell us about who do you work with? What do you do?
Well, I work with growth-minded people that are curious about their potential. I have a body of work that I've distilled down from the extensive education that I've sought in mysticism, transpersonal psychology, somatic awareness. And I have distilled it down to 5 principles, pillars of light. They're not in any order of importance, but we have the essence dimension of consciousness. We have the discipline and mindfulness practices. We have somatic awareness. We have relational subtle attunement. And we have also the etherization of the blood. So that's infusing the light into our organic matter. So often the people that I work with, they're in a tremendous amount of grief, or they're going through an awakening process where they're discovering life beyond what their everyday structure used to be. So they're coming into something new where they're discovering the mysteries of synchronicity or dream life or mystical experiences, or discovering the illumination of one's hidden trauma. And so as these purification themes start to come into the body, we need an ability to resource and to hold this presence in addition to what we have been disassociated from. And so I support people in holding that container for them and teaching them how to work with the light.
Beautiful. And how did you get to this work? What's your personal story?
I come to this work by way of my own healing, passion, curiosity, and devotion. Early on in my life, I had quite a bit of early childhood trauma, especially in terms of attachment trauma, which by the time I was an adolescent had some issues with addiction. And along the way, I would hear the light, my highest version of myself, my soul, just saying, well, how about come over here and take a look at this? How about take a look over here? And so it really, what emerged was this very devoted path towards discovering myself, discovering what was in there, what was hidden from me, and how to resource myself in order to integrate the trauma that I had.
Beautiful. Beautiful to use your life and experience and transformation to help others and get to their light, no matter what the trauma. Well, thank you so much for this. This is the quality of women that we have here at Women Speakers Association. We do so much. This is very synchronistic show because, you know, we have Dr. Stéphanie talking about the corporate evolution and what it takes, and Dr. T supporting the healers and nurturing themselves and creating that safe space, and Ninotchka from the spiritual light aspect. I mean, like, wow, this is like a supercharged body of experts here. So we love bringing you to Women Speakers Association, or we love that you're here. And I was wondering if each of you could share, you know, why are you here? What's the value you see here and you're already getting? Dr. Stéphanie?
Yeah, I think with Women Speaker Association, I really joined because of the values and the purpose that it has to give voice, the authentic voice of women, so that they can share their wisdom with the world. And the introspection book that I've written is part of, you know, what I want to share with the world. And I think that all other panelists are also doing that, sharing their wisdom. And thank you for giving us that platform to do so.
Yeah, we're happy to have you here and to expose your wisdom to another audience. And Dr. T, share with us the value that Women Speakers Association is for you.
Since joining, I have had wonderful opportunities to be mentored. I love linking arms with other visionaries so we can just shake the ground together. So I am really looking forward to continuing this journey with dynamic women. They're just inspiring to me.
Well, thank you for being one of those dynamic, inspiring women. And Ninotchka, tell us the value of Women Speakers Association for you.
Women's Speaker Association is just a gold mine of a platform of so many, the expertise of so many women. And what I find very exciting is the collaboration opportunities, the visibility opportunities, and just the cross-pollination of women in their flow, doing what they're excited about.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. Yes, we have a lot of opportunities for cross-pollination and for collaboration and for sharing wisdom and just for hanging out with remarkable women. At joinwsa.com, you can do what Dr. Stéphanie, Dr. T, and Ninotchka have done, join at the premier level. If you want to just, though, put your toe in the water, you can always go to speakersuccessplan.com, download our free gift, get on our mailing list, and start just hanging out with us. We also have a Facebook group that's for the public, but we love to give more visibility to those who join us, and we want to see and collaborate with you. So I'm going to put everybody on screen so we can all just, relish in this wonderful show that we've just had. The new connections that were formed here is beautiful, and invite you all to join us at joinwsa.com. Thanks so much, Dr. Stéphanie, Dr. T, and Ninotchka.
Thank you so much.
Bye.